More Non-Dues Revenue, a semi-monthly Zoominar series sponsored by Chamber Marketing Partners, where we interview Chamber of Commerce leaders and visionaries to share their creative, entrepreneurial strategies for generating non-dues revenue. Catch us live twice a month or see prior Zoominars at chambermarketingpartners.com/podcasts. Our sponsor is Chamber Marketing Partners, generating substantial non-dues revenue from Chamber of Commerce publications without using a turnkey publisher. The Chamber gets total control, full financial transparency, and uses local vendors. Visit chambermarketingpartners.com to learn more and follow us on LinkedIn. Now, before we begin, in the chat section, tell us who you are and what organization you're with. So everybody can see your comments. Be sure to change the at the bottom of the chat screen from to all panelists and attendees. That way everybody can see your comments. Post your questions in the Q&A section and we'll answer them following the interview. I'm your host, Ed Burzminski, President of Chamber Marketing Partners. Let's connect on LinkedIn. And now let's get started. Today's guest is Wendi Rich, Executive Director of the Perry County, Indiana Chamber of Commerce. With 300 members and one full-time staff person, Wendi had to be really creative with non-dues revenue in 2020 and into 2021. Of her various non-dues revenue efforts, the most notable for Wendi are merchandising with local multiple organizations, generating revenue from Billboard ad space sales, tapping local corporate grants, and being part of the Hometown Chambers Council at ACCE, the Association of Chamber of Commerce Executives. Actually, Wendi, just before we started, mentioned a couple more that she'll share with us. We're excited to have her on the show. Welcome, Wendi Rich.
Thank you, Ed. I really appreciate it. I feel honored to be, you want me to change the view, speaker view? Can you see me?
I can see you.
Okay. I appreciate everything that, being asked to be on here and to share my ideas. I feel like I'm like most chambers. I just beg, borrow, and steal and collaborate. So it's all about networking and the way you look at things. So I'm definitely I'm willing to share any information that I have to help others. So
that's great. Well, yeah. Let's jump right in then, Wendi. Tell us a little bit about your chamber, how many members you have, how many staff, major industries in your town, things like that.
Okay, so can you see me?
Yes.
Okay. I have okay. I have a staff of one, me, myself, and I work a lot of hours sometimes, but that's okay. And I actually have an intern that she's amazing. She's a high school intern that's planning to go into marketing and has quite a bit of experience actually in marketing and worked for the manufacturing facility that's located inside of her high school. And so things have changed a lot. And she's amazing. She gets a lot of work done, even when she's not on the clock, like we always are, never on the clock, we're always working. I also have a collaboration with the Perry County Development Corporation and the Perry County Convention and Visitors Bureau. We're all separate entities, but this is kind of how our story starts. I started at the chamber a little over 4 years ago, and at that time we rebranded, and we as in both of those organizations are Lido and Visitors Bureau. If it's okay, I want to share my screen now to this. Can everyone see that okay?
It's coming up. There we go.
So 4 years ago, the CVB, the Chamber, and the Development Corporation, we all joined together and said, hey, we need to collaborate and work together. We're doing a lot. We were already serving and doing some of the same things, and we were collaborating together in meetings, but we needed to have a united front. And so we call ourselves Pick Perry, and the logo that's in the middle of the screen there green at the top here. This is our logo. My logo is actually a light blue, but all of the logos for each entity is the same. So it's just different colors. And that is one thing that we made a huge splash with several years ago was we wanted to grow our population, and we kind of caught a little bit of flack of like, why are you doing more internal marketing than external marketing to get people to move into the area for jobs or, you know, living here, working here, whatever. But we needed to change the mentality of people that lived here first. So this is a great place to live. We have a lot of beautiful things, as you can see. We're along the river, the Ohio River. We are surrounded by the Hoosier National Forest. It's like 62,000 acres of forest. So we needed to like really just focus on all the assets that we had. We did asset mapping and launched a new brand and a new website. So with that, we started also merchandising. So that's where I wanted to that's been a really great saving grace during a pandemic, is to have merchandise for sale. I don't know if I can scroll down.
What kind of merchandising? What is it?
Anything to everything. As you can see on the bottom of the screen, we have everything from like little bumper stickers that clings that are in shop windows. We made the brand everywhere, you know, so we wanted it to be a commonality. As you can see right here, to hovering over our Instagram, we made all the entry signs into the county to match our new brand. Let me see. Here's one of our billboards. We brand all of our billboards with our brand as well, which we'll talk about in just a little bit. But really, it started with shirts. So shirts. Yeah, let me show you. I think I've got a photo of some shirts.
And you're wearing one, right?
I'm wearing one. You see, the shirts that we have on right here. So initially, our shirts were all gray, and we ask employers to consider buying these shirts, or a type of a shirt that had the same logo, the same message, that we are all one in this together, and using our hashtag Pick Perry. You can see it on the side of the heart over here on this billboard. We wanted to be united. So every Friday, businesses started letting employees wear the shirts. I think the first Friday that we launched it, I think we had over 40 businesses that had purchased shirts for their employees. And over the last couple of years, we've sold thousands of shirts to people all over the nation. We also highlight the shirts like on our social media and our other propaganda, not just shirts, but on social media on Pick Perry Day. So the first Friday of every month is Pick Perry Day, and we celebrate our community. So we ask people to wear their merchandise and maybe talk about what they love about our community. And so we put that
to get the
there.
sorry to interrupt you, but to get the merchandise, they have to go and purchase the merchandise, right?
Yeah. Now, yes, there are times that we have corporate sponsors buy merchandise for certain events. But some of the merchandise we put into the actual local stores, and the vendors can sell them, and we make a minimal profit off of that. And some of the merchandise we make, or the chamber makes the majority of the profit.
If I understand correctly, the logo is it's a consistent logo across the Visitors Bureau and the EDC, it's just the colors change, but it's consistent for the branding of the overall community. Now, you had mentioned that prior to us being on live, that the merchandising generated revenue and it helped carry you through during
Right.
2020.
Right. Right.
Tell us a
So,
little about the revenue that's generated from the merchandising.
um, so I had mentioned the shirts, of course.
Yep.
I've also had everything from playing cards to inverted umbrellas, kind of unique items that people would actually want to give as gifts.
Mm-hmm.
I know in December, the train depot where the Visitors Bureau is located sold over $500 of my merchandise and just Christmas T-shirts and umbrellas, you name it. I
Hats.
think I
I
have
think you had
shop
a
hat.
hat.
Well, hats is new. Hats are actually new. I can go back to this. We haven't started selling hats yet, but we have a few prototypes of hats that we're going to sell hopefully for the summer. And we try to use all local vendors for those merchandise items. The hats that we hope to sell over the summer, we actually have a leather craftsman that's going to make our logo for us.
Mm-hmm.
And so we can have the tag on the hat. This is the Christmas shirt that we sold. We've sold Christmas shirts for the last 2 years. It's green. It's probably like,
There we go.
can you see it?
Yeah, it goes away. It has a pickup truck on it. It's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, and on the side of the pickup truck, it has our logo. So what we did was we actually got a red pickup truck and had a magnet put on the side that had our logo so people could come out, wear the shirts, take a photo in front of the actual truck. And it was a big hit, but that was actually a year before last when we did that. So you kind of have to get creative with your marketing, but people love it because they love to send out family photos with everyone wearing the same merchandise. And we've had people jumping out of planes wearing our shirt, scuba diving. We've been in 19 different countries. We encourage people to send us their photo after they've been on vacation. Sometimes it's mission work, sometimes it's work that they're in Japan or different places, and they'll wear merchandise and send it to us so we can advertise. But it helps our community and it helps our small business owners that sell this merchandise, but also part of the profit comes back to us. So unfortunately, things happen even during a pandemic, and things like your website needs repair, or you got to keep your lights on.
So how does this perform financially? What has it done for the chamber financially? How much of a percentage of non-dues revenue would you say the merchandising is bringing in?
Well, this year it's been one of the only revenue streams that I've had. So I mean, other than chamber dues, it's primarily been the number one income stream for the chamber. Now, some of the money actually goes into that joint. I said that we have a combined website and with the CVB and the Perry County Development Corporation, which helps us do bigger marketing campaigns together. So the money doesn't all filter down into the chamber's account directly. Some of it does, depending on who owns the merchandise. But people have really taken off with the brand, so they're willing to, they're always eager and looking for new things to send to the relatives that's moved out of town, or we like to send our branded merchandise to people that we're trying to get to move to town or work here. So it works in a lot of different ways.
So it's a branding effort, it's a visibility effort, it's a revenue generator. You're using local vendors to provide them to produce the merchandise. You're distributing, you're selling to larger companies as well as individually around town. and encouraging people to wear the merchandise as a promotion and as for visibility. And you're partnering with two other organizations for the same branding to promote the entire county and the area. What would you suggest a chamber do if they wanted to start a program like this? What would be like the first step or to get a program like this started?
It depends. I think it depends on where you are. We had some friction on like losing some identity, and the Perry County Chamber is a very old organization. We've been in existence since 1903, but I am one person. So we are stronger together, and that kind of had to become our motto, that we were going to work collaboratively and not duplicate things, and saves time, efficiency, and money. So we reached out to a local university, got some grant money to have an outside facilitator come in and decide where our focus should be. We invited people from all different walks of life to be part of the collaboration on what is Pick Perry, what does it look like, who do we need to, how do we need to launch it, what kind of items are we going to allow to be on the market, and who's going to profit from those items. So
you were able to bring in a consultant to help kind of focus
right.
What that was going to look like.
It started with our combined website. So then it kind of took off. People wanted to put banners out. People wanted to put signs up,
But it sounds like it really started with the rebranding, the vision, and coming up with a consistent brand that everybody could use and moving forward from there.
And it helps on your search engine optimization too, because I've said so many different times, I don't know very many people under probably the age of 40 that and over that's like, I don't know what the chamber does. And I'm like, they don't understand what kind of information and what tools and assets that we have. But people are often interested in a bigger picture, like your area, your industry, those type things. So by combining the website, I still have my information all on there, links, my chamber member page, actually, the views probably tripled or quadrupled from when we had our own individual website. So
so it gave you bigger visibility for the chamber as well by having that. It's a smart strategy. Now, as far as other non-dues revenue, you also have a deal with a local billboard company, and you sell some billboard advertising. Tell us about that, and how do you make money from that?
Well, what happened was just a conversation. Our local billboard rep came in several times saying, do you have marketing money? Do you want to spend marketing money on billboards? Well, billboards is a great tool. They're a phenomenal tool to use, in my opinion. And we've used them for years. We decided to sign a year contract and have a billboard, that changes every 8 weeks, and it rotates in location. But also we worked a collaboration with our salesperson that we can actually use his leftover billboards at a discount, which most small business owners probably couldn't afford, especially during a pandemic, or maybe even last year, it was during Christmas. So it was during Christmas promotions. So we wanted to give them more bang for your buck, type of situation. We partnered with a local bank that helped offset some of the costs, and we rented billboards in like every surrounding county that was left over. We got them at a huge discount. And then I group branded each billboard that was around in other counties. So they were actually on multiple billboards and only had to pay about $500 per business, which is, you can't get one billboard for that. But because of the bank's collaboration, and maybe it was $600, the bank's collaboration, and then what small fee that each business joined in, it did produce some revenue. So you need to look at opportunities of like, our people, their marketing budgets are down. So can I work with local ad people or local billboard or TV, because there's not as much money in people's budgets. But if you do it collaboratively, like through the chamber, they can give me a lot better deal because I'm a nonprofit.
And
And
you had the quote investment, not
right.
subsidy, but investment from the bank to kind of
And
underwrite a lot of it.
right. So that
And
was a great, that we have, we've had a great relationship. It's really about making relationships with your, with people in your community. Like I mentioned before we went on air, my marketing dollars went down too. So I had a meeting with, I know this is about revenue generating, but it also is about reducing your expenses, so it's basically, it's kind of one and the same. So my marketing dollars went way down, of course, like everyone else that you budgeted. And I had several conversations with the local newspaper, and I said, I'm not able to get information out to the people like I want to, and I can't run ads like I usually have in the past. So what they did was, I have a dedicated article every month and some ad space, and they sell ads to my chamber members or local businesses at a super discounted rate. It's like half or less than what a normal ad would cost to support the chamber page. So it's full page in the newspaper, color, and my chamber members get a discounted ad. I get dedicated space and free ad space. So it's offset my marketing dollars.
so it's kind of become like the chamber's newsletter, but partnered with the local newspaper to produce, which has helped you reduce your marketing expense,
right.
but give
And
more visibility to members as well at a discount.
But, because the newspaper is making some profit off of it, I know that my information is going to make the newspaper. Being in a small town, if I just submitted a press release or information, sometimes it would make it in there, sometimes it wouldn't, or it might show up the day of, So now I have a regular time that I can put all of my information for the whole month out there. And because they're selling ads, so
And they're consistent.
they have to produce my information for these people. So it was really, it's working very well.
Question for you on both of these. Who's taking care of the design and layout of the ads and the billboard and that kind of stuff? Is it the vendors? Is it the newspaper and the billboard vendor doing all that?
We work closely with all of those. Luckily, there is a designer in our network of people. So the executive director of our Perry County Development Corporation, she just by default is also a marketer and a designer, and she does a lot of our design work. Now for the newspaper, I just tell them how I want it, and they kind of create it, and we tweak it as we go. The billboards, similar situation. A lot of times we'll create something in Canva. I don't know if I'm not an Adobe pro. A lot of people are. Canva is super simple. We uploaded all of our logos into that. We can kind of send them something that we're looking, a look that we're wanting, send it to the designer. The designer sends us back the proof.
Sure.
And we've never been disappointed. So
it's not the newspaper or the billboard that's providing that service. You actually have found that service.
It's both. We may start the look of how we want it to look.
And then they'll take it to completion.
Right. And then we approve it. So, it's like those collaborations. You don't have time to do it all. you know.
Yeah, sure. So for the billboard, you're selling the ad, the remnant space on the billboards, and on the newspaper, it's the newspaper that's selling the ads, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And you're not
Yeah.
making any revenue off of that, but you're getting free visibility in the newspaper, and
And
that's a value to you,
more visibility. I actually get articles and ads, you know.
articles and
Yeah.
ads.
Mhm.
Now, as this isn't
And
necessarily a revenue
it helps my members too, because they get full color ads at a huge discount if they,
discounted price.
right.
So this isn't necessarily a revenue generator, but it's kind of a network for you to lean on. You're a member of ACCE's Hometown Chambers Council,
Mhm.
the Association of Chamber of Commerce Executives. Can you tell us a little bit about that? What is that, and how has that helped you as a small town chamber?
Well, the hometown chambers are, if anyone is not a member of ACCE and there's local state chamber association, it's money well spent. Every year when you have to look at your budget, you're like, should I really spend that money? But hands down, it's always worth it. I'll start nationally with ACCE. They have, of course, different levels based, as most people know. And I'm a small chamber, so I'm hometown chamber. There, every single day, any question that you want to ask regarding anything can be asked, and you get, not only can you get like examples, you can get free um, you know, like workup of it. I'm looking for a form, I'm looking for a press release or examples of things, because we are short staffed. I know a lot of people have laid people off. Use those to your benefit. It's about using that time wisely, and seeing if anybody else has any additional input for those. The state chamber, I live in Indiana, so Shelly actually is our executive director, and on this, she's part of this as well. But they're the same way. They're at our door waiting for us to just, um, you know, collaborate with other chambers. And if a chamber has struggling, hey, I'm going to have them call you, and maybe you guys can work out something, and you can talk about what's worked for you, because she knows what territories and what communities are similar in size and monetary income. And then locally, on a smaller level, we have a group of chamber executives, and we try during the pandemic, when it started, the first maybe 3 to 5 months, we met weekly, we on Zoom. So we were constantly looking for sharing information, talking about revenue ideas, spinning things off, you know. And so all of those people have been integral. And
Sure.
you have to, you're one, even if you're a staff of 10, during a time like this, everybody has a million things going on.
Sure.
And so having those resources and turning to them have been so valuable for my chamber.
So it's really ACCE's group is more of it's kind of a network. It's you lean on it, and if anybody has certainly
They have
get
the
involved
call,
with that.
right?
There's Frank Kenny has a great group. It's
Yes,
a
he does.
Facebook group that you can lean on. WACE for the Western states, the local state chambers. All these great groups are great resources to
Several are
lean
on
on.
LinkedIn too.
Yep,
Like
yep.
LinkedIn has several resources.
There are quite a
Um,
few,
yeah,
definitely.
and that's the best thing about being a chamber director, actually, and at any time, is they're the most giving and sharing group of people. Why recreate it? Just grow off of it and utilize it to what best benefits and would fit your community.
Definitely. Wendy, we're coming up on some time constraints here. So, I wanted to thank you actually for your insights and sharing your non-dues revenue ideas with us. Wanted to just move on before we run out of time to any questions that we might have from the audience. And we have Judy Hayes who's helping us review some of those questions and field some of those questions. Judy, do we have anything coming up?
Yes, one question came up as far as the billboards. Does the account person at the paper, so it's probably not the billboards, it's the papers. Does the account person at the paper take care of the ad sales? Do they get, is there a revenue share there? Do they do the selling? How does the ad sales work?
Well, I mean, they're offsetting the revenue, what they would be paying me by letting me have my ads for free and my articles. So yes, they do the selling of the ads and the designing and all of that. But I do talk to my ads executive weekly about potential supporters of the chamber. So we work collectively and collaboratively. Now, there are certain times of the year that certain ad sales will go to back to the chamber, but it's usually when we're doing a benefit for an organization. So, I know other chambers do have deals that that they receive a portion of it back, but I felt it was important to allow that my chamber members be able to afford advertising. So it's about half of the normal price to let them have an ad on my page. So, and it's in color. So, I could have probably been made money off of this, but I chose to let's work collectively. I'm getting my space for free, and they're going to be able to afford an advertisement that they could probably not afford during this time.
Sure. Makes sense.
Okay, yeah, that was the only question that came in. So thank you so much. Got a lot of accolades here, Wendi.
Yes.
I have one more thing real quick. One thing
Sure.
that we had talked about earlier is check with there's always, we were talking about grants.
Yes.
The PPP is also now available for chambers. It just opened this week, and I wanted to mention that. Also, check with your local city and government. I know through some of our associations, some of the city and county government have funneled some funds into the chamber that they receive through different grants or CARES money, or I don't know, different, because they were working collaboratively. Our local city government offered me a loan, interest-free, with no closing cost. So it was even cheaper than the EIDL loan. So a lot of times that money comes through the USDA or could come through the CARES Act money too. So typically that money is held for businesses, but they will sometimes make exceptions for chambers because you're such an integral part of what's going on right now during COVID times and business success. So
Sure, and chambers are totally relevant for business and helping grow the local economy. And a rising tide helps float all boats. What chambers do is incredibly amazing, and that's why I've been in this industry since 1993, probably longer than a lot of these people who are attending have been alive. Wendi, I want to thank you for being here today, and thank you to Judy Hayes for helping us and assisting us. I'm Ed Burzminski with Chamber Marketing Partners. Catch the live More Non-Dues Revenue Zoominars twice a month, or subscribe and see all the episodes at chambermarketingpartners.com/podcast. Stay relevant and keep on making a difference in your business community. Our next guest will be Bruce Hillegeist from the Tomball Chamber of Commerce, just northwest of Houston, Texas. We look forward to seeing you then. Keep on making a difference in your community. Onward and upward. Thanks, everybody.